Hey, it is Troy Holden. It is Happy New Year. Listen to all the celebrations going on. It is 2025, and man, is that hard to swallow. It's just, I don't know. I can't believe it. It just seems like not long ago we were panicking over, going from 1999 to 2000 and what was going to happen to the IT systems. And here we are, man. Way past that, because it's hard to imagine that was 25 years ago. But what I really want to dig into today is talking about the power of goal setting, why you should set goals, why you should review those goals, and why it matters as a voice actor. So first, let me welcome you to the VO Life. It is 2025. And as a voice actor, one of the things we should have already done at the end of 2024, maybe in the last few weeks as things were slowing down a little bit, is set those goals for 2025. But if you haven't done that yet, you're in luck. I've got some really good goal setting reminders and things to help you get off to a right start if you've not done that before. Maybe you're new and your goals aren't that huge, or maybe you're, a couple years in and you've really got to start dialing in on your business. Tony Robbins, one of the great motivators, says setting goals is the first step in turning the invisible into the visible. And for us as voice actors, those goals could be something like landing a dream client. It could be mastering a new character voice for a video game. It could be upgrading a piece of equipment. It could be whatever, but you have to have those goals and focuses in your business. And in these next few minutes, we'll explore why goal setting is crucial for voice actors, what the importance is of reviewing them regularly, and why you have to do that. And I'll give you some tips to help you grow your career intentionally versus accidentally. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the VO Life with Troy Holden.
So if you're wondering, do you really have to set goals? Well, you don't have to. It's just hard to paint without paint. You can have a blank canvas forever, and, if you don't ever have the paint on there, right, you know what I'm saying? You need something actionable. You need something to strive for, and it can be really simple. You need a measurable outcome that you can look back on occasionally and hold yourself accountable to. For a voice actor, that can mean I'm going to book X number of gigs a week or a month. And then you say, well, what do I have to do per, let's say month, what do I have to do per week to get to that? I'm going to book 12 new gigs a month, and say that breaks down to 3 a week. You can really easily measure yourself weekly. Every Friday you go, all right, how'd I do this week? I booked 2. Man, I was 1 short. Hopefully I can do better next week. But you have something to shoot for, and that helps you. Upgrading your home studio, that's always something a lot of people have on their mind, especially early on. You may be looking at how you're going to upgrade the reflection in the room, or how you're going to make the sound better. And yes, if there's always stuff to buy, I know. Microphone, a different interface or whatever. But remember, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's one thing I like to tell people. If it's working, it may not be what everyone else has, but that doesn't matter. You don't have to have what everyone else has. You don't have to have the same mic and setup I've got. I'll tell you what I have, if you want to know, but it doesn't mean you have to go get that. You can get something similar that works for you, or what you have may already be working for you. Another thing a lot of people all look at the first of the year is their demos, how old they are, if they have spots that need to be replaced, et cetera, et cetera. Not a bad thing to look at. That may be a goal for the entire year, is to replace 2 spots on the demo, or replace the entire demo, or get a new demo. But just keep in mind, as you prepare to do this, if there's nothing to achieve, you can't achieve it. So you've got to set some goals for your business. Why? Why do I have to do that? I've got enough to do. I'm working a full-time job. I'm trying to come home and learn voiceover and get all this going. Why do I need to add this into it? Because first, it's a business. Treat it as a business first. And remember these things. Voice acting is going to be one of the most competitive fields you can get into right now. It is very competitive. Goals will help prioritize your efforts and your focus. It might be networking. It might be training. It might be direct marketing. You need a good, clear focus. The other is motivation. It gives you a reason to keep going, keep auditioning, keep pushing through the tough days where everything is a rejection. How do I get through another day of 25 people telling me no? Because there's something at the end you're trying to accomplish. Accountability. Tracking your goals helps you see how far you've come and what's left. You get into June, July. Am I doing what I said I'd do? Am I making the progress I wanted to make? And then it affects your career growth, because that process of setting and achieving goals allows you to up your game and expand your portfolio. You may be doing something where you say, I'm going to do this many workshops, this many training, coaching sessions. And then you can go back and have improved samples because your reads are better. And that ups your game on the casting sites, on online casting, because now you have better samples that people can catch and listen to. And believe me, people listen to those samples on there. I can tell by looking at the results I see in my profile that they are being listened to hundreds of times a year, and you want them to be good. How important is it to do this? And that's one of the things that hit me hard the last few years. 2024, I knew going into the front of the year, we were going to have a lot going on. We knew we were going to be doing a fairly major remodel. I knew I had to move my studio. I knew my wife was going to have back surgery, most likely. And all of this affected my business and how I set my goals, because I had to set goals that were related to keep me focused. How and when would I move the studio? How would I work while I was moving the studio? How would I work while the remodel was going on? And I also set financial goals and broke that down into that weekly number, just like I talked about, that kept me focused on each week, not the whole year, because things were happening week by week by week, and I needed to stay focused weekly. It was a tough year, and the overall goal was to at least replicate 2023 and hopefully have an increase. But I knew if I could replicate 2023 and get through all the personal things I had to get through, it really meant I had a better year, because the amount per job would be much higher versus doing 10 jobs for X dollars. I could do 5 jobs for the same dollars. And that was a big part of my goal this year, to increase that. And it worked out great. So what's the importance of reviewing those goals regularly? And I kind of touched on that just then in saying that, because I stayed on top of that weekly, I knew where I stood. A lot of voice actors will set goals at the start of the career or the start of the year, and they don't go back and really look at them. And that's kind of like recording a VO and not checking your audio when you send it out, to make sure it actually is at the right level, or is it, did I have the computer mic on accidentally? You just want to check, and you're going to do that. You're going to check your work, and you need to do that with your goals. Check your goals. See where you are. How am I making progress? Do I need to reset that goal halfway through the year or after the first quarter? Quarterly reviews are awesome, and you have to have these goals to where you can look at them and they are visible to you. What did we say earlier? To make the invisible visible. Keep your goals, and some people like to say top of mind. I like to say keep your goals active, keep your goals living, review them. It reminds you of what you're working toward, whether it's increasing weekly bookings, diversifying into video games, whatever you're doing, and have those checkpoints like I talked about earlier on the financial goals, and hold yourself accountable to those checkpoints. Use your Google Calendar, set reminders that, certain times of the year I need to do a goal review, and make yourself do it. Don't see it on the calendar and go, yeah, okay, whatever. Actually do it. You really need to do it. Another thing that helps is to celebrate your milestones. if you get good client feedback, or you have done something even outside of your goals, what if you mastered a new dialect or something like that? I mean, who knows? Whatever it is, be sure you celebrate those and put that in your goal sheet that you accomplished something, even if it's not 1,000% focused on that exact goal. At least you made progress. So when you review things, you can go, well, I didn't get totally to that, but I got to this, and it helps. One thing to remember is you may have to change and adapt because this industry evolves, and if you'll review, it'll help you pivot because your focus may go to a different type work. You may start out really focusing on commercial voice work, and the industry may take you to e-learning. You may start booking a lot of e-learning. Then your goals can be reset for e-learning. You know, if your goal is to book a role in a video game and you're reviewing your progress monthly, how would you do that? Well, how many people did I contact? How many game developers am I reaching out to? How many samples did I put up? You know, so there are things that will support your goal of booking a role in a video game. Be sure you arc off of that in your goals and put some really good steps and actionable things in place to get you there.
Hello, voiceover friends. It is Ryder, the VO life coach. You've heard me as national brand voice for NASCAR, the professional bull riders, and of course, Ford trucks. And you are listening to the VO Life podcast. Now, pay attention.
All right, so let's talk about real quick. Here's the breakdown in how to effectively set some goals, smart goals. Let's say the specific goal is you want to book 3 audiobooks this year. Your measurable is how many auditions will you submit a week? Your achievable becomes, is this goal realistic based on my current skill level and time availability? And that's very important. Don't overload yourself. Then look at the relevance. Does this align with my overall career? Or am I really, do I really want to spend more time on commercial work, or do I really want to spend more time on that? You can't bog yourself down with too many different things. So be sure this aligns with where you want to go overall. And then set deadlines to hold yourself accountable and review those deadlines. Set those dates in your calendar, go back and look at them. How do you break those goals into milestones? For every big goal, develop smaller steps. If your goal is to, and I'm using this because it's an easy example, to upgrade your home studio, step 1 is researching the type of equipment and the budget. Step 2, during what times of the year do I want to make these changes? Step 3, what is my target to have all of this done? And step 4 might be the reminders to review that progress, whether it's quarterly or every 6 months or whatever. Just be sure you establish a review schedule. Well, for me, I like a weekly check-in. How many auditions did I submit this week? What was my total booking dollars this week? And, I'm talking about when we're looking at financial stuff mainly. And I'm on target, because if I have my goal, and I'm just going to put a number out there, let's say my goal is $1,000 a week and I did $880. Well, I'm 120 shy. Does that mean next week I need to do, $1,120? It'd be great, but no, I really take it a week at a time. I just say, well, this week wasn't great. I got to do better next week, and a lot of that you don't have control of anyway, but you're tracking it and you know where you are. Take the weekly check-in, and that weekly is, and let's go back to auditions. Let's say weekly. How many auditions did I do this week? Monthly. How many times did I book from those auditions? Where am I at with that? Annually. What did I land this year? What genre? Where am I booking the most? And if you'll use a whiteboard, a spreadsheet, some kind of document, it'll help keep you honest and help let you know where you are. One of the surprising things for me every year is that I book a decent number of video game roles. And I haven't ever landed a top tier game, but they are decent roles and they pay about the same money, so it surprises me. But what I know is I need to continue to learn to be better at that, because if I'm booking it, I want to improve in it where I can get more and do better with that. But I keep up with that. I know at the end of the year how I did. Journals, planners, wherever you want to write your goals down, track that progress. Digital tools are awesome. Voice overview is wonderful. A spreadsheet is not as good, but it will work. And also another great technique, an accountability group. If you're meeting, even if you're only meeting quarterly with your accountability group and you all have a similar way of tracking and you're reviewing how you're doing, it will keep you motivated, because you want to come to that meeting with the ability to share good information. And then for your accountability partners to push you to keep doing it and keep doing it well and make improvements. And it can be done. I mean, a good accountability group will help you. I know some people that got in accountability groups last year and they have soared, and they give a lot of credit to that accountability group. I've been doing it for 3+ years, and they change sometime. And sometimes you're involved maybe in more than one, but you need that. It will help. So what is the real life impact of getting this done? I just think it took me from being part-time to full-time, because even the year I was part-time, I set goals. And when I went full-time, it kept me focused. And I think that will help you. I think that's one of the things, it'll just make your career more transformative. You'll know. One of the proudest moments that I had was booking that first national. And, that was one of my goals that year, and I hit it. Those things will stick with you, and you will stick with them. And it's just very important to know that you wrote it down and then it happened, and it can be done. It's really, really rewarding to do those things. For voice actors, setting goals gives clarity, focus, and motivation, because this is one dynamic industry. Change. It's up and down. It's all over the place. But these regular reviews will help you stay on track and adapt. This week, if you would, take 15 minutes to write down one goal and your plan how you're going to review it. If you'll start with one thing, it'll work. Whether it's improving your audition choices, expanding your client base, upping your direct email, some intentional action will make all the difference. Hey, thanks for coming back. It is the VO Life. If you found this episode helpful, hey, share it with some fellow voice actors or leave us a review. That'd be even better. But until next time, keep on living that VO life.
Today's podcast episode may have been recorded in the bathroom, but you didn't hear that from me. You were listening to The VO Life with Troy Holden.